The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
Colin Bucko shows off a lean, mean racer blue taken from Manasquan Inlet last Thursday. A little bit off to Colin's east. Sarah Kaminsky also tied into a good chopper in the 5 to 10 minutes that I was there. Jerry Smith hit one here. Hit a bunch of them, actually. Sorry, kind of like a bluefish. I get a little distracted by shiny things, flashy metals, big sport fishing yachts from Viking. Ian Gardner as well, putting the boots to a big gator as the Blues raced in and out, east and west, back and forth, to and from Manasquan last week in the days following Monday's full moon. And just in time for the Fisherman magazine's annual Dream Boat Fishing Challenge, which kicked off this past Saturday. You know, I also bumped into Angry Fish Gallery maven Tom Lynch. He was taking some photos of the bluefish run up there. Got a great shot here of Linda Lakem. I think a little green seaweed really shows the character in old Yellow Eyes there, don't you think? Jim Hutchinson with a New Jersey Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. And if you've been tangled up in blues over the past week, it might be time to do a little restocking of the gear. A couple of new plugs, leader, maybe swap out some of those treble hooks. Certainly going to need some more line. I'm here at Fisherman's Source, 3501 Sunset Avenue in Ocean, New Jersey, Monmouth County. It was an all-commerce, e-commerce place just a few years ago, going back to 2006. Actually, they had their grand opening celebration about a week after the Asbury Park Plug Show in 2020. If you remember that time, that's when we got hit with the COVID pandemic. In fact, the Asbury Park Show was the last one I did. But they have been set up here on the hill, right near the water tower. You know what I'm talking about in Ocean. They've got a great selection of saltwater tackle as well as freshwater stuff from Yum, Z-Man, Gary Yamamoto, Savage Gear. On the third Saturday of the month, starting May 15th, they're going to start doing some bargain stuff, 25 to 70% off. Discounts, major closeout and discounted opportunities, custom plugs, a lot of offshore tackle, all the top brands, you know, Chatter, Mad Manus, Nomad, of course, the top names in rods and reels as well. They also tell me they're going to be hosting some workshops and seminars this season. They'll keep you updated on that through their social media, Instagram and Facebook. Look them up at Fisherman's Source. They say it's the coolest, well-stocked shop you've never heard of. I would agree. You got to come find Fisherman's Source here in Ocean. And I'll tell you, with reports of giant bluefin off the Jersey Shore in recent days, it's definitely the time to gear up for chasing some of these ghosts. The buzz along the docks in Point Pleasant since Monday was of giant bluefin. People have been talking about them. Was that true or not? Did we say, well, I got it. The crew of Internal Fixation let me know that they brought in their giant for the year, a 600-pounder that was weighed in at Hoffman's this past Monday. For Marshall and Eddie Allegra, Brendan Curry, and the Palumbo boys, Drew and Lenny. Where are these giant bluefin? Well, according to Brendan, about 27 miles out, you make a hard right, 100 feet of water. That's my spot burn for the week. Good luck on that. But yeah, the bluefin are here. It is that time of year. Bluefin and bluefish. What else do you need? Except for maybe the stripers and weakfish. We got all of that right now. Also at this time of year is when we kick off that Fisherman Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. That kicked off on Saturday. An Elite 8 set of categories, 8 species of fish that you're qualifying to win a brand new Steiger 255 and a Yamaha 300 at the end of the year. You got to be a Fisherman subscriber, got to be a member of the magazine, and then you can weigh fish in. And I'll tell you, with the bluefish run right now, these giants, they're teen-size class fish that are running through these inlets, and I would imagine distributed throughout Barnegat Bay. It seems weird in Manasquan, you only have that short stretch of river, so they're coming in and out. Same thing with Shark River, but they're spread out throughout the Raritan Bay, and of course, I would imagine they're spread out in Barnegat Bay as well. So when you're in that Dream Boat Fishing Challenge, this month is the ideal month to get on the board with one of those burly bluefish. And we've got 40 weigh stations, more than 40, from Staten Island all the way down to Lewis, Delaware. Now, last week we reported from Hands 2 Bait and Tackle in Cape May, and word over the weekend was that Eddie Campbell found an early morning striper on Fresh Bunker that he got from Nick there at Hands 2. So that's a good sign. And I know Nick was talking about having clams last week. I know that black drum bite is going to continue through the month of May and into June. Kathy at Sterling Harbor in Wildwood, welcome back to George and Kathy. They said that Brandon Olweiler of York, PA was down on Delaware Bay plugging up some of those big stripers. He was throwing a bomber. So I know a lot of that bait fishery has been there, but it's nice to see some of those big fish turning on to artificials along the Delaware Bay. Word from Jingles Bait and Tackle on Long Beach Island. We were there a couple of weeks ago. Fishing in the surf there along that 18-mile-long barrier island is starting to pick up a little bit. Steve at Jingles, he said that JP here caught and released one on clam. So obviously we're getting some smaller striped bass in the mix. Getting some at Island Beach as well. They're starting to pick up on baits, but I would imagine it's time to start slinging some lures out there as well. The guys here at Fisherman Source, we were talking about the Monmouth County stretch, still mostly small fish, taking those smaller plugs and plastics. Think of those swim shads, those northeast paddle tails. They've got them here on the shelf, but eventually we're going to get some more big fish. And these guys are still talking about chasing those fish with those hydro minnows, right? Yeah, they've got them here as well up there on the Raritan Bay. Although, don't forget, we talked to Phil at the Tackle Box last week. He had that report of a bayshore boomer estimated at 60 pounds, and that was caught on a clam at Union Beach. Don't forget, no matter where you're fishing in this region, North Jersey, Central Jersey, down into Delaware, make sure you sign up for the Black Drum Battle. It's absolutely free. Go to blackdrumbattle.com just in case you happen into a 60-pound black drum when you're fishing for stripers. But that Black Drum Battle is on. We've got some great prize giveaways thanks to the folks at Penn, a $2,200 prize package. It also includes a trip with Captain Happy, Bob Cope of Full Ahead Sport Fishing down in Cape May. And of course, if you're a paid member of the Fisherman magazine, that top prize also includes a $500 cash prize. And oh, by the way, for you kayak anglers, we also have our Coastal Kayak Clash. That kicked off again this past Saturday. That's going on now. Tape measure contest based on fish length. Again, a bunch of series of fish, not just one or two, but a series of categories that you can go for. And just as I talked about with those bluefish, New Jersey's already on top of the leaderboard, thanks to Larry Newman, who weighed in or measured out his bluefish in that Coastal Kayak Clash. You can get information on that. Kayak's a great way of stalking some of those jumbo weakfish we have in area waters as well. Not just a kayak, you can get them from shore, under the lights, you can get them from the center console. Those beautiful spike tooths are finally around. Haven't heard of any jumbos just yet, but there's some good fish. You might be able to find one under the lights. On the right tide on the Shrewsbury River, of course, throughout Barnegat Bay, down into Great Bay in South Jersey as well. As a matter of fact, Matt Shad let us know that he found a couple of weekies on Monday morning while fishing with Kyle and Cameron Koshland after gearing up first at Boulevard Bait and Tackle in Ocean View. That's down in South Jersey. So be on the lookout for those weak fish. And again, if you're a member of the Fisherman magazine, do not forget about that Black Drum Battle, because weak fish is the fish of the month for May. Also watch out for some of those preseason summer flounder when you're getting those jigs down deep. The fluke are already in. We've got, just a little over 2 weeks to go. Mike Velez let me know he's been doing well plugging on the northern coast for stripers, but let that SP minnow get down a little low for his first fluke, a catch and release for the season. Fluke, striped bass, bluefish, black drum, weakfish, and yes, we've even got bluefin along the Jersey coast now. Things are definitely lining up nicely in the coming days. Well, we're talking about it with the gang here from Fisherman Source. This is just the greatest time of year to be a fisherman at the Jersey Shore, so get out there and enjoy it. And don't forget, Black Sea Bass will open up next week, May 15th. So make sure you've got reservations in order on your favorite head boat, because those spaces are going to fill up fast. Get a call in now. Speaking of which, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about slow pitch jigging for black sea bass, as written up by Max Christensen, that was back in the April edition of the Fisherman magazine. Well, Max and crew from the Reel Seat, they've got a special jigging trip scheduled for the Big Mohawk out of Belmar. That's on May 21st. It's all about slow pitch jigging black sea bass. So if you want to figure this out and watch it in person and do it in person, so this should be a great trip on May 21st. It's a limited space deal, of course. You got to call the Reel Seat to get on board there. 732-223-5353. Striped bass and shad on the Delaware River as well. Tell you what, I need a little bit of line. So for now, let's get the freshwater update from my friend George, the Pocono Outdoors Guy.
Well, hey, thanks, Jim. You know, lots of great fishing going on right now. We still got that great shad run on the Delaware. Now, I was actually out myself last week with river guide Tim Keebler, and we managed to get on about 20, 25 of them and probably lost just as many. Some really good fish, too. Some nice roe up there, close to 5 pounds. Lots of good fish in the river. Now, I know guys are rumbling. They're saying the big roe are all the way up. They're out. We missed the run. It's early May, guys. There's lots of good shad fishing going on. Keep the faith. They'll be running through May, so get out and get on those shad. Now, while we're on the Delaware River, I do want to talk about the stripers. You know, they're coming up right behind those shads. There's a great striper bite. Guys are getting them down by Philly, even a little bit north. Some really, really good fish, too, in excess of 50 pounds. Remember, the bloodworms, the chunk baits, the bunker, and the clam, they're all going to do well for you in that river. Now, staying on striper, guys, you know, there's great fishing even here in these Pennsylvania lakes, those landlocked stripers. You got like Nockamixon, you got Beltsville, you got Raystown, you got Wallenpompak. All those lakes that hold either the pure strain and those hybrid stripers are doing well. Lots of guys catching fish. But I'll tell you one thing, try to get a fish report out of some of these guys is impossible. Spot birding will take your life in your hands, so you got to be careful where you talk about some of these fish are being had. They are catching fish, though. Be careful where you go. Follow those patterns. You know, the same thing you would follow the pattern in the saltwater. They're going to be running up into those shallow waters, doing a false spawn run, but get up there, try them with live bait. You can try them with plugs, and they're all biting. Lots of fish, guys. I hope you're out getting those reports as well. From Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors Guy.
What the heck did we ever do before social media and cell phones? I'm working here, getting these text messages, bluefish blowing up, bada bing, bada boom, they're in, they're out. Hey, listen, you got to be in the right place at the right time. That's what it's really all about. And if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time without your saltwater registry, you're going to get busted. It's free. You got to sign up. You got to make sure you register every single year to fish saltwater in the state of New Jersey. Go to saltwaterregistry.nj.gov and get that registration in order. Also, don't forget the striped bass bonus program kicks off on May 15th, same day as black sea bass. You fans of New Jersey's saltwater game fish, there's no commercial sale, no commercial harvest of striped bass in the state of New Jersey, but they reallot a small portion of that overall quota. It's like 215,000 pounds. But New Jersey anglers get an opportunity to harvest one small fish. That starts May 15th. You can go register right now. You just got to make sure to follow the rules, use your one tag, and keep all the documenting requirements in order. It's very important. Just Google Striped Bass Bonus Program so you can register and get that bonus tag. You know, I had a chance to fish with some good friends from Pure Fishing, the folks from Penn and Berkley, the Gulp guys, and Fenwick last year at the end of the summer. I know the guys here are super busy right now spooling some of that Berkley X9 braid. In fact, all the way through May 16th, you could spool yourself here at Fisherman Source 7 cents a yard on that X9 from 10 to 50 pound. You haven't tried it, you should. If you like it, you're going to love it. Get over here and do that. Just a little over 2 weeks to go before we kick off the summer flounder, the fluke season, here at the Garden State. I thought I'd share some tips and advice that I picked up from my friends at Pure Fishing last summer. So for the next couple of weeks, I'll offer a tag, a video at the end that'll help you out a little bit. But we did sit down with Chris Pitsillos, brand manager from Berkley, talk to him a little bit about that X9 braid. I hope you'll enjoy this. Until then, spool them up, catch them up. We'll see you again next week right here at thefisherman.com.
I'm here in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. You can see the Manasquan River is behind me. And what's really great is we've been fishing braid today. We went fluke fishing, and it's really awesome to be throwing 15-pound flame green X9 Berkley braid. It's just a braid that's super thin and it's super smooth. And what happens is that diameter, that smaller diameter, allows you to get to the bottom quicker. There's going to be no drag on that line. And you're just going to be able to have a very efficient drift and catch a lot of fluke. The really great thing about X9 is again, it's super smooth. Okay, it's a 9-carrier braid. You don't hear a lot about many 9-carrier braids. So it's got a core, so that's 1, and it's got 8 carriers wrapped around it, making it 9. And what that allows it to do is have a little bit more body, so you're not going to have a lot of diggings. So when you're dropping a 6-ounce jig with a piece of gulp on it, It's not going to have the diggings like it would on a normal braid. So try it out, X9 Berkley braid. Thanks so much.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.